Okay, welcome back students. We are doing question 9 of the 2022 paper. Let's take a look at the marks that each section is worth. So this is the official marking scheme. It's 5, 5, 10 and 5 for the four parts. 5, what did I say? 5, 5, 10 and 5. 5, 5, 10 and 5. Okay, as we can see, it's all straightforward algebra by the looks of it. Let's see how we go. So we kick off with we were given a value for k and we're told that m minus k equals 4, and we're to work out what 9k minus 6m is. Okay. So this is a simultaneous equation. We already know that k is 7, so let's substitute the 7 in here to get m. And then we'll have 7 and we'll have m and k, and then we'll use both of them to evaluate this. Okay, so let's start off by writing m minus k equals 4. Going ahead with our substitution of 7 for k, m minus 7 equals 4. Transposing the negative 7 term across, get m equals 11, because 4 and 7 is 11. Okay, so now we know we have 7 for k. We'll just to remind ourselves of that in big handwriting as well as up there in text. So now what we can do is we can take our 9k minus 6m and go ahead and do our substitution of 7 and 11. Okay, that gives us 63 minus 66, which is equal to minus 3. Okay, next we're going to factorize this 4-term expression. We do that by grouping. We'll group the first two and just hope that they have something in common. If they do, we'll take it out. So there's an x and a 2 in common. Okay, you're looking for the lowest common multiple, both numerically and with letters. So there's a 2x in common. And I take out 2 from this, I get 4. When I take out x from this, I get a. Okay, and I'm factorizing the second bit now. So taking out positive out from a negative leaves a negative. 2 out from 14. 2 into 14 is 7. And the x is gone, just leaving the b. Okay, so that's we call it factorizing by grouping because you group it into first two terms and second two terms. Now it's been years since it's happened, but they can rearrange them in such a way that the two terms have nothing in common, because of the way that the original expansion occurred. And then all you have to do is make any rearrangement, but that's not happening in this case. So now we have 4a minus, but basically now we move on to the second group and we factorize that, but we kind of know that what we're expecting is 4a minus 7b to come out. And sure enough, y is common to both, only y. So we're going in with the second factorization of y, and then we're getting 4a minus 7b. Okay, now we do the splitting the brackets in reverse. So basically we see that, or another way of saying this is that 4a, that's an a not a 9, 4a minus 7b is common. Okay, and so 2x plus y, if you take it out, you're left with 2x plus y, and that's your answer. Okay, now we're to write this as a single fraction. Okay, the problem is we don't have a common denominator, and we'll only have a common denominator if we multiply across like that. And in order to make everything else equivalent, we want to multiply like that and like this. So let's start off with putting these in brackets. And then we're going to do this multiplication, but we'll let the minus be associated with the 3. So it becomes a long bar. You really need to practice these. 2 times 3x plus 5. The minus is associated with 3, so minus 3 times, and it'd be a bit like we're multiplying down that way, but then we're going to multiply down this way because we like to put the monomial at the beginning, not the end of a bracket. They're both correct, but this is a conventional way. So you multiply along that diagonal that way, and you multiply along this diagonal this way. And then along the bottom you multiply those two. top needs to be tidied, so we'll distribute the multiplication into the bracket, and then we'll distribute this multiplication into the bracket. We'll write out our terms, we'll group like terms, and we'll tidy it up. So we're getting from the first expansion there is 6x, from the second expansion it's 10, from the third expansion, careful with the sign here, minus 6x, and from the last expansion it's minus 3. Minus by plus is minus. Okay, the bottom stays the same. We can just do that to say it hasn't changed, rather than write it all out again a few times. And now we 6x, take away 6x, well, they're gone, and 10 take away 3 is 7, so you have 7 over 2x plus 1 by 3x plus 5. Now whether you need to expand this or not is a hot topic. The marking scheme probably won't require it, but it might. I haven't checked it yet, so just to be safe we're going to expand it as well. Okay, so to expand this, the quickest method is the FOIL method. There are other methods. Getting 3x, and you're getting 10x, and we're getting first by first is 6x squared, 13x for the linear terms, and then 1 by 5 is 5. So as I said, I'm not even sure we would have needed it, but just to be safe, I'm going to write my answer in an alternative method, which is 7 over this. Okay. So we go on to this one here, where you're given, so first of all there's two prime numbers at the end, and I can absolutely guarantee you it doesn't factorize, because there's only two things you can test if they're prime numbers, and that is the difference, which is 2 take away 3, or 3 take away 2 is 1, and that's not a 1, and the other one would be 2, 3, 6 take away 1 is 5, and that's not a 5. And anyway, they tell you here, give each answer correct to 2 decimal places. So we're going to use the minus b formula. Okay, page 20. So do not start here, start here. Say the roots of what quadratic equation? The roots of, so write down ax squared plus bx plus c, and underneath it write down 2x squared minus 7x minus 3. Okay, and if this is set equal to 0, like it is here and like it is here, then the solution is x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, now we can fill it in manually and carefully. So you're getting x equals minus 7, which is 7 plus or minus the square of 7 is 49, minus 4, I just need to be careful with my signs here, minus 4, I want to circle these to see what the actual values are. So minus 4 times 2 times minus 3, so altogether that's plus all over 2a, which is 2 2's. So we have 7 plus or minus the square root, and you can see it's a bit tedious. In a minute I'm going to show you how to do it in the calculator, where it'll do all the work for you. 2 3's is 6, the minus but minus the signs have gone away because minus minus is plus, so we've 24 there all over 4, and 49 and 24 is 73. So you have 7 plus or minus the square root of 73 all over 4. And then you go to your calculator and calculate each one in turn. We'll start off with the positive one. 7 plus, no, I want to start off with a fraction bar, otherwise I'll be annoyed at myself later on. 7 plus root 73 all over 4. Now this can reduce, 73 is a prime number, so this isn't going to reduce in this case, but it can reduce somewhat. Now, but they have indicated that it doesn't factorize, so it won't end up being a perfect square that actually rationalizes itself by the square root disappearing by cleaning itself up to an integer. That isn't going to happen. But nevertheless, we want to look at what that's worth digitally, 3.88. And to 2 decimal places, we'll actually be going 3.89. We can just do that on the fly, and then turn that plus into a minus. And it's a bit tedious, everything that's happened there. Shift equals and we're getting minus 0.38 or minus 0.38. So a much easier way to do it is to fill in the values, store, well, I'll put it this way, store 2 as A, and it's this easy, 2 stored as A. Hit the AC button, store minus 7 as B, minus 7 stored to B. Hit the AC button, minus 3 stored to C, minus 3 stored to C. Okay, hit the clear button again and go with your fraction bar, and now instead of putting in all the nitty-gritty numbers of substitution, we can use the variable names. In other words, we can put this into the calculator. Only difference is it's going to be capitals because these variables are written as capitals. Okay, so let's get started. We start with minus b. How do you get it? You get alpha b. Plus, you can't do plus or minus on the calculator, do one at a time. Square root alpha b. You might want to keep a finger kind of hovering over the alpha. I want to square that. Minus 4 alpha a alpha c all over 2 alpha a. Okay, we'll try equals. Okay, that didn't tell us much, but do shift equals and you get 3.886. Or, now, at the moment my cursor, it's invisible, but it's here. So I can either go back all the way through the sum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 steps. Or I can go forward 5 steps. Delete that plus to a minus, so you want to go forward, it's quicker. And do shift equals to go straight to decimal, and you're getting minus 0.386. And when I'm rounding that to 2 decimal places, actually you're supposed to round down because you're staying as far away from 0 as you can. Hold on, no, you're supposed to round up because you're staying as far away from 0 as you can, so it's fine. So minus 0.39. Okay, so I'm curious how that'll go, and I seem to have made some sort of a mistake here with that second one. I can yeah, there's no, I must have made a mistake. I can just very quickly fill in 7 minus root 73. I made a mistake there, I don't think I did. All over 4 minus 386, yeah. So that wasn't rounded correctly, that should have been rounded to 9. Let's fix that now. Again, a good reason why to do things in 2 different ways. I certainly wouldn't recommend this, it's too tedious. This is the way to go. I'm hoping you'll go with this one. Okay, let's see how we're doing with the marking scheme. Let's grade ourselves, in other words. So first things first, we get negative 3. 5 out of 5 for that. And that's the value of this. Next we get 4a minus 7b times 2x plus y. Don't ever worry if they're in the marking scheme if they're the other way around. In fact, the default way would be here, but they've done it both ways. Of course, multiplication is commutative, so it doesn't make any difference what way they are. So don't continually ask, is it the same? Because you should know it's the same. They are, multiplication is commutative. It's part of the course. So we got 5 out of 5 for that. We work all this out, and let's just see, they didn't bother expanding the bottom. The reason they didn't, and I did say I probably don't need to, the reason they didn't expand the bottom is that you were asked to write it as a single fraction, which we've done here. Okay, now it's also a single fraction here, they're both correct. The examiner will come in here and give full credit for that one, for that, and we get 10 out of 10. Okay, and then we're over here to working out, using the minus p formula, the answers, the two solutions. What's happening there, of course, is you have a parabola and you have a negative intercept, and you have a positive solution and a negative solution, but they're not rational, they're irrational, they're surds. Okay, and they're rounded to those numbers, 3.88 and minus 0.39. Let's see, did they get the exact same as us there on that? Minus 0.39 to 2 decimal places, and minus 0.38 and 3.89. So there are two answers there. Did we get them both right? We did, 389 and minus 0.39. Excellent, as always. I'll see you in the next one.